back to another episode of Hold Your Horses with my co-host, Travis Bainbridge, Thomas Atkins.
Hello.
We are...
Hello.
Don't do that. We are just thrilled beyond...
What a great night.
What a nice
Oh,
night.
beautiful night.
Lovely night.
Weather's been wonderful.
It's great to be here, too.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Me?
I don't.
Oh, because we're at your house. We're in your shed again, as
Thanks
we
for
always
coming
are.
over.
Thanks for using
We're happy
Yeah.
to be
shed.
here in your shed.
Thank you guys.
This episode is not sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Takes you where you want to go. Flights as low as $49 one way. Southwest Airline reps, if you're listening, we are looking for sponsorships.
And we are not sponsored by that.
And just to make it clear, we are not
One
sponsored
out of the
by
many
Southwest.
Things we're not sponsored by.
We could probably do a show about all the things that we're not sponsored by.
Yeah, it'd be a long list, but
Well.
let's get started.
But let's get going.
There are a few ground rules
Oh, you're right. Yes,
to
go over the ground
discuss,
rules.
to touch
Yeah,
on.
a lot of
Yep.
our listeners have
So many
adamantly
of
complained, just inundated with mail and comments about, hey, you guys seem really unstructured.
Right.
This seems real willy-nilly, like you guys are just kind of
Probably
freewheeling it.
Now,
the
did
second or the third most commented item beyond, like, why are you doing this?
Mhm.
This doesn't make any sense.
You should
stop.
now. Yep.
Did
So
we go over
It's-
the...
Is
Is
what
what
is
Dan
the
was saying. Yeah,
unstructured
unstructured,
format that we
Um,
talk over each other?
what?
Like what?
And-
Oh, wait.
Well, one of
and
us
to
they
that-
don't like.
And to that
Travis,
part,
why don't you?
Yeah, I'll
go-
take this. I'll take
You
this.
take this one. Travis is gonna
To
take
that, I would say you should have listened to the first pilot episode where we did warn them.
Ooh,
Oh, I think we did, yeah.
how- yeah.
how that's
We
intentional.
may come off as professionals,
Right. It might seem
but
In our own minds.
polished.
in our own minds,
and
but we're
streamlined.
the farthest from it. And you
No.
can
I
probably-
thought it was the other way around. I thought that we try to make it sound like it's just kind of we're just kind of
I'm
winging
literally
it, but we
reading a
Oh,
script
yeah.
right
but
now.
this is
I'm literally... I just read
hours
the
and
same
hours
sentence
of-
twice.
Tom. Go to line.
Line. I
47.
just read... Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Same sentence.
No, next page.
Okay.
So
What smells?
anyway,
Oh wait.
that's not it.
that was earlier.
All right.
The goal of this particular episode is just to lay out some clear ground rules.
Yes.
So
Should we go over the air rules? Or are we just...
sticking
Let's
with
start with the
ground
ground
Just the
rules?
okay. Well,
Okay.
that's for the next time.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll do space rules.
Land,
Space rules. You know who else
air,
rules?
and then sea.
Oh, Doyle.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Doyle
That's
rules.
not his generation.
It's
That is an interesting thing that you've said. Ground rules.
All right.
What the crap?
Yeah, that's a
And
new one. We'll
it's
look
all
into
the
that.
time. All right. So ground rule number 1 is it needs to be very clear that whoever is presenting the idiom, tonight it shall be myself, is also the one that gets the first stab at it. Okay.
Is that another one?
That's
potentially,
probably another
yeah.
one.
And then it will go, we'll probably
However
rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay.
Yep.
Also, we are adding, and this is from one of our listeners, Sam Cole, shout out Sam, that there needs to be some stakes. There needs to be, obviously it's not fun unless
To that
there's
again, Sam.
some skin in the
listen
game.
To the pilot where we explicitly
end.
said.
But I'm gonna say when there's skin in the game,
Are these stakes in the ground? What is he?
the stakes,
Yeah.
we're raising the stakes. Or
Uh-huh.
what stakes?
Yeah. What kind of?
Oh, I was picturing like a T-bone or some sort of like filet
Mhm.
mignon steak.
Meat.
Meat.
A meat steak. Okay.
Yeah. But
So
if
there's
you're
some
putting stakes in
stakes.
the ground, that's a different.
Right.
So the stakes are $5.
The stakes have never been higher.
The stakes have not been higher. We've never had
Because
stakes
we've never. They can be as high as we want.
Okay.
unless you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Go on.
here's the
So
stakes.
here's- yeah.
Whoever gets closest, and we're starting from scratch.
That's another. Okay. That's a record
Bacon.
reference, I think.
Oh.
Scratch.
Okay.
Chicken scratch. $5 from each of the co-host to the winner go the spoils, and the spoils would be $5, which would be 10
Each
episode.
Each
idiom
session
is
each
worth
idiom.
$10. Whoever gets the closest. Once somebody hits $50, and we will keep a running tally, and listeners, you're going to really need to help us out with this.
Yes.
Because that's math.
Pay attention.
Once
I'm
you reach
already lost.
50,
Yep.
there will be a side game. There'll be 3 bets. 4 yeses is what you call a loop around. Then there's what you could do is you can
Okay.
You can also, you can phone a friend
Oh yeah, if you need
if
help.
you're stuck.
Right. You got a lifeline.
Yep.
you can do
Yep.
I
I don't think you can say that. Actually.
but it has to just be our
think
moms,
that's-
right?
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're all in the same.
Mhm.
No, basically the idea is $5 each. Once you hit 50, you can choose to cash out, and the thing resets. Okay,
Mhm.
and you get the 50, and you go
Mhm.
down, and you can get 3 to 4 gallons of gas, depending on how this goes.
Yeah, you could get
we're gonna call it the
some
gas.
coffee. You could buy socks.
Really anything
Really
under
anything that money
$50.
can buy.
Under 50,
Yeah,
which
under
at this point in our history is
Maybe some
getting
friends.
fewer
hope.
and fewer.
That's what I
things
was
you
doing
can
this
buy.
podcast for.
Fame.
So on a
That's
more
esteem.
on a more so
Professional note.
here we go. We're
Okay.
gonna jump right in.
And
Alright,
you're
so
going to give a
there's-
shout out to who
I
suggested
am
this.
shouting out right now to Ben Perry. Ben,
Ben Perry.
do I have to shout his name? Ben. Is that a shout out?
That was a little loud in my
yeah.
ear.
Blew the-
might
okay.
kind of.
Yeah.
Ben was like, "Hey, what is going on with this phrase?" And obviously, as idiom experts, we know.
I mean, we've
I
been
know.
doing this a few
This is what, 6?
times. This is 7.
7.
Episode
We have an
7.
unaired episode that
Oh,
will
nice.
drop
Mm.
tomorrow.
I love
Right,
when you
and
say
if
that.
listeners want to offer an idiom that they'd like us to discuss,
Right.
they can.
Yes, please comment on our most recent Instagram post.
Wow.
Perfect.
Man, I feel like we're getting really streamlined here, almost maybe too polished.
Yep.
So here it is. Dead as a doornail.
Ooh.
Okay, let me give you some context here.
Dad is a doornail.
Hey, Travis, I see you coming around my neighborhood again. You're gonna be dead as a doornail, and you would hear
Mhm.
like that.
He's slamming his fist.
Yeah, like
Okay.
so. That's
That's where you've heard it. That's the context that you've
Right.
heard it.
No, he told that. He said
I
that
told
to me.
that to
Yeah.
Oh,
Travis.
just now?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait,
We-
be earlier?
We went over for dinner, and,
Oh.
Yeah.
And he said if you come around.
Hey,
again.
you're
Yeah.
late.
and then Hope.
If you're late.
Yeah.
Hope said, "No, you invited us." And it's like, "Oh, okay, okay.
What
I
are
guess
you
it's
doing
okay
here?
this time." Yeah.
I thought I told you never to
Yeah.
come in here.
Yeah.
So I've given you context, and I've
You're-
given
yeah.
you the idiom,
You're donezo.
and now
It's a threat.
it's
Yep.
Yep. So is that clear? Does anybody need to make sure
No,
that they
that's
know
good.
what you've heard it? Dead as a doornail. I'm not sure if I've heard it directed.
It's not always a threat. It could be an after, like.
No, yeah,
that,
you're right.
That
guy's
dog.
dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That dog's
yeah.
dead as a
The
doornail.
dog is sleeping on the railroad tracks, and you
I
say
once
that
saw
dog's
this
dead as a
video,
doornail.
about people cutting down trees. You know,
I don't think they use it in that context.
in
Those
their
trees
in their
are-
yard and stuff.
Okay.
That maybe they shouldn't without professional help.
Mm.
So they tried,
Sure.
and this tree
Fell.
fell on someone. Like they tried to sidestep it and couldn't, and it just fell on.
No.
And in my head,
You're like,
I
that
was-
guy's
that
as
guy's dead as a doornail. yeah,
Isn't that interesting that doornail came to mind instead of just dead?
Right.
Or as any other.
hmm
That guy is as
Random
dead as
object.
an elk that got shot in the head. That was awesome.
What was
Do you
that?
think they can hear that?
Oh yeah,
That was
they
amazing.
for sure heard.
That was Travis, everybody.
What?
He just ripped
No,
a
did someone-
big old hole in his pants.
I think it was just the wire, a loose connection.
No, literally, it
Or
sounded
s-
like a loose connection.
That was awesome.
Okay, it was
I
kind of
would-
fun. Like
But
we haven't done.
But Travis, if you
I
don't
didn't do
fix
that.
it,
No, I
you're dead.
I
as a
mean, we
doornail.
haven't used many special effects,
yeah.
like sounds and stuff. So that was
Our
kinda
last
You did
episode
good
was
on
quite
that,
fun.
That war
yeah.
one.
That
Oh
was
right,
great.
that was
Yeah.
You did
that was
good.
after. I mean, live.
Oh yeah,
That was-
live.
That
Yeah.
was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done snaps and that kind of stuff, but nothing.
I just did a
keep
punch.
it snappy. Keep it
I
short.
did a punch.
That's
sound.
true. Okay, so we've got a couple sounds this
Yeah.
episode. So okay, so
Interesting.
a
We'll
guy
see if
got
we-
killed by a tree, and that's what you.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
another
we're-
instance where I would
Right.
think it or say it.
We're
I didn't say it out
We're
loud.
digging deep
Yeah.
into the origin here because they could have said dead as
Well,
a-
that's not really the origin.
right. No, I'm just
Let's
saying
get to the
that's what we're
origin.
doing.
Let's get
But
to it.
they could have said that guy's as dead as and there's
Anything.
anything. Lots
That's
of
not
things
alive.
die. Right. Tom's being he's very loud.
So you're up.
so the dead as a doornail expression, obviously, we're gonna go back into the turn of the century. That seems to be very popular, late 1800s.
Interesting.
Probably 1894 circa.
What region?
We're looking at the Midwest.
Oh.
You got people starting that sort of
Manifest destiny.
Drifting left or west, some people would say, on the map. And it's a carpentry term.
Okay, obviously.
And what would happen pretty regularly within the wood shop or in the carpent or in the mill, just kind of
They had mills established?
a run of the mill
Set up already.
scenario here.
Okay.
How are you going to plane the wood? So they're framing up the house, and they begin to, they're pounding their nails. Some are
join the wood
some
together.
are window nails.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your roofing nails.
Now the window nails, do they pound that directly into the window or?
No, they would actually. That's for the trim.
Oh,
And
around
there you go.
around the
Yeah.
window. And then it's like, all right, guys, it's the final.
I didn't know that you knew so much about construction.
Yeah, no, this is amazing.
This is great.
I don't think you've ever picked up a hammer in your life, but keep going. It's fascinating. You hear what's in that
You
little
learned so much.
brain.
And the way this story started, it's actually quite funny how this story started. One of the it's
It's one for the ages,
it's one
if you
for the
will.
books. And what was pretty common is they'd be hammering away.
It seems so memorable that you're having a hard time remembering it.
I
But
know.
occasionally, the contractor or journeyman, all different label titles of the carpenters,
all the laymen, if you will,
would hammer the final nail like
in
as
the
a
coffin.
symbolic.
Or
it's kind of a similar expression to the nail in the coffin,
Right.
like to kind of seal.
Yep.
It's done. We're finished.
Yep.
Okay.
And he'd nail like, all right.
Yep.
And he'd hit it into the doorpost
wood
to finish
doorpost
the door.
But
And
someone
the
was
dead-
leaning against the wall on the other side.
But if
And it was an 8-inch nail.
oh my, yeah, and symbolically that was the last nail that they put in the whole structure, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
And the dead part, this is where the funny part is why dead, right? Because we already have established what a doornail is, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's clear on that.
Right.
But the dead part, and you guys are going to love
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What have you schemed up in your brain? What do we got?
is that
Yeah, you're just waiting for it to
It's
strike.
It's
It'll
like
hit 'em.
lightning. It's like a doornail. The way it's hammered down.
His brain is as dead as a doornail right now.
oh my God.
It's like you're on the air live, and it's kind of like that.
It's a
It's
little.
so quiet.
Yeah.
It is.
Like, right?
It's like the
dead
crickets,
air.
yeah.
That's
It's
why
like
they call
dead
it
air.
dead air.
Right.
Like a dead as a doornail.
So
Anyway,
carpentry.
the doornail, the dead part comes from it's more figurative. Nobody dies. That's
Oh.
that's
no.
what's so funny.
No, but a
That's
lot of
what's so
people-
funny about it.
is
Yeah.
that
A lot-
nobody dies.
People
and-
did die
But
actually
it's like
in that era.
it's just like, man, that thing, like, it's done.
You
It's
finished
dead.
it.
It's
The
finished.
house is done.
Yeah, it's done.
So you always end with the door, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was common, and then they would carry the wife into
Over the threshold? Okay.
holding her, and that's an interesting story. I could talk about the threshold
All
but
day long.
I'm actually gonna pass it on
Wow.
to you guys.
Okay.
So that's the real meaning. But if you guys want to just kind of have fun with it and make up something silly or kind of whimsical,
You knew that there was
be-
money on this,
be
right?
my guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. So he
Um,
isn't concerned about gas apparently,
Mm.
or is he? What do you got?
Do you
Trav?
have anything?
Well, I think I'm gonna go further back in time.
Good.
You don't go with doornail until you go to the origin of the door, which is obviously before 1800s. I'm picturing pilgrims. Their
That's
houses.
when doors were invented.
So-
16, yeah.
Well, they weren't in castles. They were rock surrounding.
Mm.
You know,
They,
didn't
built
have
rock doors.
No, they didn't have doors. It was gates and
They
metal.
didn't discover wood.
No, they didn't use them. I don't look at a lot
Any
of the
castle. Everything's wide open. There's no. They
a
let
lot
all
of
the air
gates, a
in.
lot of metal gates. I'm talking. You don't nail into wood.
Keep going.
You don't nail into rock.
No, it's impossible. It's never been done.
So, I'm thinking 16, houses are starting to be
built. First houses in the 1600s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1600s. I'm talking, this is America we're talking about.
Right. Oh.
I'm not going all over the world.
No.
So we're talking about pilgrims coming over, building their first establishments.
Great. In Plymouth, perhaps.
Perhaps Plymouth Rock area in that region. So you mentioned window nails.
Right. There's all kinds of nails.
All kinds of nails.
Fascinating about nails.
Door nails.
And you know what they said after they hit the doornail in?
It's a done deal.
No, they said this one's dead as a doornail, and then another guy chimed in, nailed it. Anyway, keep going.
So
fun, isn't it?
I'm trying to just kind of clear the air, the air real quick.
Yeah.
So dead as a doornail came from a guy working on the door.
Okay. So
you've already said that there's okay. Go ahead.
So the doors are just invented.
Doors are just invented. They're the first thing
castles
out.
Here he is, and he's hammering away.
He's got
the door nail.
Oh.
Got you a little pickle. It's hard once somebody gets it so clearly. You just kind of flounder. Yeah.
I'm thinking of
here before.
A lot of dead air. We might have to do some editing on this one, Trav.
Oh, Trav's not listening anymore. He is panicking.
I don't know if there's a rat in the shed or something chewing on the wires.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, it's like a Anyways.
And this is a fine stalling tactic.
Yep. And this is why we're not sponsored by Southwest, cuz this would be embarrassing if
it is embarrassing.
Are you just going to end it there?
When Dan texted this out earlier today, I could not think of a single thing, and I thought by just rambling like Dan
something would
I thought the same thing. I thought that my mind would just allow. So I mean this could be a dead end.
Cuz I'm trying to picture a doornail. Like, are you thinking of the frames or the hinges?
That's great. So what's interesting about the doornail?
Yeah, because you were the expert on this.
Right, is that it would often be actually on the hinge.
Okay.
So he would be nailing it actually down. It's that final.
Oh, that's the nail that goes through the hinge. Okay.
So it's not. It's more of a pin actually. It actually used to be dead as a door pin, but door pin. Had a kind of weird sound. Like people would go around. That guy's a dorpin.
He's got his endorphins going.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anything, I don't know. I don't understand doornail like being as dead as when anything man-made. Yeah. You can just say dead as a piece of bark or metal.
Dead as a brick.
Dead as a rock.
Dead as
so I'm just blanking on why they would say that unless, like you said, the house is done.
Last night's dinner.
We're finished, and it's done. Game over. That's the last. That's the only thing I can think of is that's the end of, like you said, which I guess I'm not adding much.
So you won't be getting any money, which is fine.
Right.
But it's nice that you supported me in that.
And I did give Trav an ample amount of time.
Very good.
Very good. I do want to say, though, that castles, just because now when we see them, there's nothing around the stone, doesn't mean that back then that's how it was. All of the other things had disintegrated and whatnot.
I agree, but it's
if you ever seen a movie in your life, then...
A lot of them go up and down. They're not swinging. I picture a lot of like the drawbridge and the gates that go Robin Hood type gates.
He's
trying to get through. He's climbing.
Here's the thought. Do you have anything? You don't. You have nothing.
I have questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thought.
Okay. I'll let you think.
This isn't
wow.
The door. Thinking a trap door when they hang a guy. Like the hangman's thing, and it's like that guy's dead as a door. Like as soon as they pull the nail that's hanging the door to his feet, he dies. Okay. You know how when they do a trap door and the guy falls?
I don't know if they pull a nail.
Yeah.
No, it's a lever and
lever.
it's a mechanism.
But is the
yeah.
lever? Is there any nails anywhere?
No, that wouldn't be efficient. Why would you spend time
Okay.
pounding a
Okay,
nail
well,
in? And then,
Travis, what I'm doing here is I'm trying, and that's what this show is about.
It's
you,
about
on the
trying
other
your
hand,
best.
are
So
listening to some phantom
if
buzzing
there's some
sound
weird little
that
buzzing sound
if
that
we want to
hear,
do a show
it's
about
fine.
little phantom
If we want to
buzzing
get
sounds, we can do
sponsored
that. Like,
by
hey, everybody,
Southwest,
listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Do you hear anything?
So,
do you hear anything weird in the headphones?
So again,
Just
you guys
Travis's
have brought
voice.
it up,
We have Doornail.
like the doornail.
The door.
How?
Why?
Why specify a doornail? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
There's
what?
something about the
Mhm.
doornail. Dead is a
And it-
nail.
yeah. Yeah.
And dead is a roofing nail.
Mm-hmm.
Dead is a screw.
A window nail. You know.
I don't know all the different types
Screws
of nails.
have
I know
not
there's a
been-
lot.
But I also think back, and you said that you were going back to Pilgrim 1600s,
It was
right?
earlier. I know
Yeah.
it's earlier than
It's
whatever. Dan said.
definitely earlier than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking
Columbus,
of nails
1492.
and wood. You know, Jesus being nailed
Oh, the
onto
cross.
a
Okay.
cross. So
Okay.
clearly, we have the concept of nailing things,
And death.
and it'll keep things in place,
Yes,
right?
but the door part.
Yeah, the door.
That's the
Yeah.
the catch.
Maybe the
Yeah.
door. Maybe the nail on the door is where they would hang something that was dead. Like they'd come home, they just killed their,
Dinner.
dinner, and they hung it there, or that's where they hung their rifle, which is used for killing. So there's death in this nail. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It'd be shocking if it went back to like
I-
Christ
yep.
and the cross.
Right.
Dead as a doornail. I mean, unless it got like.
I'm not going back to Lorg. He
Okay.
does not have
No, there's no
nails. They did
nails.
not
That's
discover
true.
that yet.
But you wanted.
But Lorg's
to.
a smart man.
But you wanted.
You know,
I
he
mean, they were
may
using-
have hung around
they were
until
using
the
bone.
time. Yeah,
bone nails,
that's true.
Mhm.
and they definitely had hang nails back then.
Oh. Do we want to dive into this?
I think
or are we...
here's what it is. Here's what it
Okay.
is.
This
I
is it.
think that when they were developing,
doors.
when it goes past, just making nails one size fits all. When they
Sure.
started saying
Specified nails.
yeah, this is a doornail.
What
this
kind of
is
nail
a this
do you
nail.
need? And
Exactly.
he's like, what do you mean? They're
Yeah.
all the same. And he's like, oh no.
No, I need a
I've been making
door nail.
door
Mhm.
nails.
And then-
and they're longer.
Blacksmithing and forging and all of
Sure,
that.
Yeah.
Foraging?
Obviously, what?
Foraging.
Forge.
Foraging.
Not drop the A.
Valley Forge.
This is beyond hunter
Okay, I
gatherers.
keep getting back to Lord.
No, so they
wants to
right the iron is hot and melted, and they're
Sure.
molding it and
Smelting.
and yes, and hammering and hammering.
Hammering.
Like that.
Mm,
If there was something living under it,
it would be dead.
on the opposite side of that
Oh,
hammer,
it's
it
the
would be
process of
dead.
making
The
the
process
doornail.
of making it,
Oh,
I think, that's kind of where it came from,
Yeah.
because
it's
it went
beat
through
so
so
much,
many
right.
blows.
The doornail
yeah.
gets the most of the blows.
Yes,
Right,
because the
because it's
door
weight
is a
bearing.
heavy. Yeah.
It's weight bearing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So I think earlier than 1600s.
right.
Yeah.
Good call.
14
Yeah.
or 15 would be earlier.
Sure.
Any of the hundreds before
Yeah.
1600.
Okay.
Wow.
That's right.
So we've got 3 categories.
Yours is pretty much parodying everything I said.
But- or
and
date.
and Travis's is
different
wrong.
date.
Okay.
So, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So, in the absence
Excuse me for
of
trying.
my-
You know.
Well, I mean,
These
It's-
people are sitting here
It's only $5.
tuning in, and they got to listen to something good, not just.
But tuning in's an old, you don't tune in anymore.
oh dear Lord.
There's no dial.
Okay.
What do you got, Dan?
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Interesting.
He just looked at Tom.
This is a phrase which means not alive or deceased.
Yep.
Got
Okay,
it.
it
Check.
goes back to the 1300s.
Dang it. Nice try.
Partial.
The
Partial.
phrase "dead as a doornail" is found in poems of the time. It's also used in the 1500s
Closer.
by
Nice.
William Shakespeare
Oh.
and
Oh
in
no.
Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, 1843.
Okay, very good, but
Okay.
that was
Okay.
But
It
the
was
Yeah, but
thought,
the
original.
it is
origin.
thought
Yeah.
that the phrase "dead as a doornail" comes from the manner of securing doornails that were hammered into a door by clenching them. Clenching is the practice of bending over the clenching is the practice
Of bending over. Okay, go on. Let's not leave in
So for
suspense.
those of you unfamiliar with what it means to
Clenching.
clench,
Yep.
I will read.
I will
Clenching
tell you.
is the practice of bending over
Metal.
the protruding end of the nail
A protuberous.
and hammering it into the wood. When a nail has been clenched, it has been dead nailed and is not easily resurrected to use again.
Yep. You
it's
can't
dead.
Pull it,
It's
you can't
done.
pull it out.
So
That
they
little-
pull it out, they bend it,
It's done.
and they smash
Yep.
it in.
You
Okay.
can't get that nail. There's nothing to get the little.
Wait,
hammer.
because of the it was a door.
It's
Right,
that's what
because
they
it's
would
a
do on
load-
the doornails.
Because you're not going to be moving your door once that thing's in.
If you need to, then you have an issue.
You
Yeah.
have a huge issue.
Yeah.
You can also say deader than a doornail.
So this practice was 1300s, you say?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did
but
they
I
have-
also feel like the
Yeah,
date
but
is irrelevant. It's more that
it's-
I talked about. It's a literal nailing of
Oh,
the door,
okay.
right? I mean, you just threw out
Oh.
a date. I guess we could just put. Do you guys want to do a
Okay.
thing where we just throw out a random date?
Do you want to do a
the
thing
thing
where
is-
you just talk out of your clench?
When
okay,
I want to know
okay,
now
yeah.
when hammers.
Yeah, but
We're
okay, if you just
Yeah.
say nail and then construction, that doesn't guarantee
but I
you
also
a
talked
correct
about
answer.
a doornail being nailed like
But when
Finished.
were hammers made with the little claw on the back?
Cat's paw.
The cat's paw. Because if you can't pull the nail back out with that's how you do it. You know. If,
No, they
That's
would
a
not
great-
nail it all
that's
the
a great
way, and
question.
then they would hammer it down.
If any
then
of our carpenter
hammer it in.
friends have
like-
that little tidbit of
yeah, I'd
information,
like to-
because
I'm curious.
hammers when they first started were
Was-
very crude,
Right.
and
There was
Sure.
no way to get it
Well,
out anyway.
Lord's
Why?
hammer,
Yeah.
I mean, right? Take Lord's
Bonk,
hammer, for
bonk.
example.
Yeah, exactly,
Lord's
yeah.
was just a
Was a
big
stone. Yeah.
wrapped with.
and
the
then you know what
hide
he
of a
did? He hit
squirrel,
another stone really hard,
and it
it
fissured
sparked,
it,
and he.
created fire.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, because why bend it over if you can't pull it? You wouldn't be able to pull it out anyway.
Well, you bend it over to clench it.
Just a little.
When
little
did
clench.
nails get the
When-
little
Clench.
The
flat
circle.
circle mushroom
well,
top
they were
thing?
squares before that.
Square
Exactly.
nails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, they were triangles. Did you know that?
And they used to be stars. Actually, I think.
What
they
is
used-
that?
They used. I don't know.
Just
There's a
noises.
squirrel in your
I
microphone.
told you.
It's disgusting.
I thought he
Wow.
set it up better than this.
It sounded like you were clenching
I
your.
yeah. It's clenching.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you need to
wow.
rip
So-
one just.
So we're giving Dan $5.
Oh,
Is that-
we're no.
Oh, it's not settled.
No.
Well, we're certainly
I would
not
say
giving,
halvesies.
I would
Oh
say.
wow.
that yeah.
I would say washy, like nothing.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I'll
didn't
take-
know that.
I'll take-
that was
I'll
an
take that.
option. Oh,
Okay. Well,
someone
was
has to
halvesies an
win.
option?
I would
That's
say
not winning. That's like soccer.
let the people decide.
Oh, wow.
Let them decide.
Mom,
All right,
if you're listening,
Ben.
you
Ben,
be on
Ben,
my
Ben,
side?
Ben, you. I said your name on live television
Oh man.
and
television.
on whatever this is. I don't know what this is. All right. Well, we'll turn it over to our avid listeners.
Yeah.
I'd like to take this moment to brief shout out to
Once
another one of our
again.
sponsors, Men's Cologne line, Elon's Musk.
Also not sponsored because it's a fake. Yeah.
Right.
But we're workshopping it.
We
and
are
I
workshopping
think
think
it's
that
got a lot of
Elon's
potential.
Musk.
I think that
it
we
could
would
make a
be
bunch of
sponsored
money.
by them.
And
yeah.
Elon, if you are, well, no, Elon's been listening the last few. Elon, if you're
Mhm.
interested in the marketing of this,
If you're in
Musk for
one of
men,
your
crazy
crazy mental states and for some reason
benders.
your finger taps your podcast icon and then you stumble upon
if
this
you want another investment,
and you've
Elon
listened
Musk
through this
is
whole episode
ready.
up until
If you
this
don't
point.
think electric cars are gonna make it, listen to our little pitch on this.
Elon's
You're
Musk.
gonna want to hear this.
Cologne for space.
That's good.
What are you
Nice.
gonna wear in Mars?
Yeah.
Elon's Musk, and it just smells like his sweat.
Mhm.
All the hard work that got you there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It smells like sweat and space rocket fuel.